Hey everybody, this is Carmela from Carmela's Wrestling Radio Relived. I'm here with my buddy Jeannie. How you doing, honey?
Hey Carm, I'm good. How are you? Oh my God, I've
I'm
missed this
good.
space.
I know we have with us Bebe, the
Bay
Hey,
Bay.
hey.
beautiful, wonderful Bebe. His name is properly pronounced Bassorani, but we call him
Mm,
Babe Ragney. How are you doing? It's so good to
I
see
am
you.
beautiful. It's good to see you guys. I miss you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
I'm
we
out
I
of
miss
the
you a
miss
loop.
you
lot.
too. I
We
I'm
miss you
so
miss
out
too.
of
you
the
Well,
too.
loop.
I do get to see you because I do watch your recaps with Johnny on
I,
for
I
Raw.
haven't even been able to do them. He's like, I
And
Yeah.
I
feel bad.
know,
He wants to
I
kill me.
know.
Well, you know what we should do? All right, I have an idea. Listen to this. Just listen, okay? Because we do recaps also. All right.
Hmm.
We're going to try to start doing them live, but we're going to do our recap on Monday. And with your schedule, you said that Thursday is usually your best day. Is that correct?
Yeah, because actually, like on Thursdays, I usually go into work, believe it or not, at 8 o'clock at night. My time, 8
Okay.
o'clock. Yeah.
All right. So I was thinking something we can ponder if you would like, and again, it's up to you, if you would like to do your Monday night recap, we could do it on Thursday and have the four of us on because then I can do it too and do the because we do our recaps a little later anyway. So you could
Right.
do your recap on Thursday and we could do our recap, over the weekend and still do another podcast in between if that works out. It's just a
Interesting.
thought, just a
Okay.
thought if you want to think about it.
All right.
But it's so good to have you back and it's so good to see you again. When are
Oh,
And
we
you
going to
look
see
amazing. You
you
look
do? God
thank you.
amazing.
bless you. How
You
much weight
really
have
do.
you lost?
Down 35.
Good for
And it's
you.
it's because I mean, you guys know for the last year and a half, I'm seeing it in all my Facebook memories now. Like every week we'd be here and I'd be doing these shows with you guys, and I would be drinking like one or two of these of wine. Well,
Of
now,
wine.
yeah,
Now you got water. I know I
yeah,
said something to you about that. I'm like, Bay, you got a
yeah,
lot of wine there, buddy.
yeah.
But good for you. God bless you. I think that's wonderful. So let's start talking about what's going on because we haven't spoken to you about wrestling in a while. Okay. So I know you do predominantly WWE because you don't get the channels for AEW. Is that still correct?
That is correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
So, and we do mostly AEW because I'm trying to get people to try to look into it a little bit more. Okay.
Hmm.
Because AEW to my satisfaction or my way of looking at it is more quote unquote wrestling than just entertainment. There is some stuff, man, okay, that we were talking about that happens on AEW that is freaky. Like Darby Allin and John Moxley with the fork. It's like the old Abbey days. He was sticking his
Right.
fork in his ear and a knife in his head and a screwdriver and all this stuff. It's crazy. The AEW, I personally been following it for the whole 6 years, and I personally feel that it has gotten to be so amazing and so good. Um, I think it's a definite um, counter partner to
Hmm.
WWE right now. I think it's done a lot with WWE. Have you watched any AEW though at all recently?
No,
Okay.
you know what? Like, even in the whole 6 year span, I've only seen a couple tidbits here and there. And it was actually one night me and Coco were at a little Mexican place for dinner and they had it on TV. And this
Wow.
was like 2 years ago. And I was like, man, this looks so bad. It just looks so bad. So
It
I was like, eh. But
it really isn't. I
I hear
mean,
from you and Johnny the same. Like Johnny, every week, like we're supposed to be talking WWE and recapping that, and he just keeps going back to AEW and
well, you know
praising
what? I'm
AEW.
telling you. I'm telling you. You got to try it's I'm just thinking if there any way that I can tape a show here and try to get it over to you somehow. Is that even possible?
I mean, here's the thing: like, it's just like with my new work schedule now.
Yeah.
I'm like my new job. I do a live show every night, so I'm doing 50 to 60 hours a week of live. And so my voice is shot. My
Oh
voice
my
is absolutely
god.
shot. So I'm doing 50, 60 hours a week of live show. And by the time I come home, like usually I get home, like last night it was like 1:30 in the morning. and I'm fucking amped because I just got done doing a live show, and then it takes me an hour or so to wind down and go to bed, and then I sleep until like noontime. I get out of bed at noon, and then it's like, all right, try to get to the gym, try to run a couple errands, get situated, and be back at work to be back. I try to get to the studio for like a half hour before I go live because I had to get all my stuff situated before I go live.
Right.
So it's just like a constant
it's a
freaking
constant
cycle.
loop. Yeah, it's a constant loop. I get
Yeah.
that. But we got to find a way to let you see true AEW stuff. You got to.
Well,
like
one of our
Gina-
listeners I know, and we got her from Ubay, the former tribal chief there, Michelle.
She's still the tribal chief.
She's still the tribal chief.
Former champion.
Yeah, former Chubby Dudley champion. CWO champion, sorry. But she even said, she's like, I'll get you a fire stick. Because I was saying the same
she says
thing,
it all the time.
About because I wasn't big on AEW. My whole thing was like every promotion that ever went up against the WWE has failed. And they wind up going out of business. NWA, WCW, ECW. I mean, you name it. It's just like, and so my whole thing was like, okay, well, this is great, it's starting, but I don't know if I want to get myself invested because it's just going to fold in a couple of years. You know what I mean? So that was where my mentality was. And now it's been 6 years. They just had their 6th anniversary. And Carmella and Johnny basically talked me. She's like, just watch. Just watch. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't watch anymore, And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it is far and beyond above WWE. It really is. Because it's like it's my kind of wrestling. Like it brings me back.
Right.
Yeah, it's more like old school. And I even said this, like, it kind of reminds me of like the TWA, the old TWA with Joel, and matches going everywhere, and a lot of different, like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe that just happened. And like, it just really, really is good. It's not where, we kind of say WWE wrestles WWE style.
Yeah.
And where this isn't that at all. It's like the old territory.
In other words, they let the talent work. They don't
exactly.
Absolutely.
They don't overproduce it and hold them back. They let the talent go.
As a matter of
more
fact,
of that independent style.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, Jeannie and I, I'm going to make this public because I have said all along, for a long time, I will never pay for WWE or AEW pay-per-view. And I still won't on a regular basis. But this Saturday, it's an AEW pay-per-view called Wrestle Dream.
Okay.
And the matches are so damn good that Jeannie and I are actually going to split it. And we're going to get it. It's so good. But in any event, you don't happen to have HBO Max, do you?
I do not. I do not. As a matter of fact,
we'll figure something out.
Jeannie just said about how Michelle always says she's going to get me a new Fire Stick. I just switched my internet. I had Xfinity and I had their Zumo box or whatever the fuck it is, and I just got rid of that. And I had to get a new Fire Stick for my TV in my living room, and it's still sitting here on my kitchen table. I haven't put it on yet. It's been sitting here for a week.
Yeah, but if you put that Fire Stick on, you should be able to get TNT and TBS.
Well, then but I got to pay for it, right? I got to pay for it. I already paid for it.
Not on a Fire Stick. You pay for the Fire Stick when you buy it. Once you put it up, no. The Fire Stick gives you all kinds of channels. I have a Fire Stick. And I got a ton of channels. I don't pay
I got a Fire Stick in my bedroom already. I've had.
Oh my God, Bay.
I don't
look at your Fire Stick. Well, ask Coco to do it for you. Look on your Fire Stick.
She does. You know what? She's the one that she controls the TV. I'm just like, put YouTube on and put the fucking rain sound on while I sleep. That's all I care about.
Well,
I don't- yeah.
tell her to look on your Fire Stick for TBS and TNT. You gotta have it. You have to have it.
Okay.
But try it anyway. But anyway, one of the matches is again Darby Allin against John Moxley, and it's like a
An I Quit match.
I Quit, right, with all
Okay.
kinds of, whatever. And I got to tell you, Darby Allin, like I love Will Ospreay, the guy behind me here, but Darby Allin is really getting up there. He is amazing. He is unreal. I mean, this guy is this big, okay? But
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, can he wrestle and can he do high spots? And like Johnny says, and it's true, you don't go through the whole hour or the whole 2 hours or the whole pay-per-view hearing spear, tsunami, he speared him again, spear, you don't hear all that. And it's not the repetition. Like Jeannie and Johnny and I have all said that each show or each match tells a story that you can follow. It's not like this long agenda of something and then all of a sudden it just stops. Like it's like a story that's beginning and ending. Like as an example, Toni Storm was the women's champion. She lost it to Chris Statlander. Okay. Now they're going back and forth because she wants a rematch, which she's going to get Saturday. But it's so good how they're doing it. They actually talk to each other like human beings, I love you, blah, 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 but I'm getting a title. I'm getting it back. Well, I love you too, but no, you're not. It's like that kind of, they even did a thing in the ring where they laid down on their back head to head, and they sat there, like they laid there next to each other with their heads next to each other in opposite, bodies and talked to each other about, the title match and this and that. But yet in the interim, they still wrestled as tag team partners. They still helped each other in the ring. So, I mean, it's like not that, and that constantly having the same people jump in to interfere in matches. Yeah. I mean, everybody has that, but it doesn't happen every time. That's the other thing. Okay.
Yeah. WWE's been so.
It's just been crazy different,
Well, the other thing, and I said this, and I don't know if Carmella would agree with me or not, but Darby Allin reminds me of a young Johnny Hotbody.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree. All right, you can go to YouTube and you can see Darby Allin in a match. That you can do. Okay. So do that and then tell us what you think. All right. Okay. But Jeannie, you have something you told me about earlier about Vince McMahon. Could you read it again, please?
This just came across while I was signing on for the show. Dated today from Stamford, Connecticut, former WWE CEO Vince McMahon has been allowed to enter a pre-trial program to resolve a reckless driving charge stemming from an accident this summer in Connecticut. A state superior court judge ruled Thursday that Vince McMahon would enter the program if he made a $1,000 charitable contribution and only drove if properly licensed and insured. If he does that, the reckless driving charge and another charge of following too closely will be dismissed in a year. It goes on. No one was injured in the accident, and the other drivers did not object to Vince McMahon's application for a pre-trial program. And this is from the regular ESPN app, not the one you got to pay for, the free ESPN app. So that's the latest that just happened.
What do you think of that?
Is it me, or is there something that's not being told about this whole fucking story? There's something so shady about this situation that they're covering up that is such, bullshit.
All right, let me interject here for a second. Now listen to this scenario. You're in a car accident with Vince McMahon. He's a billionaire. Okay.
Why is there no lawsuit, first of all?
Thank you. You mean to tell me that anybody in their straight mind, I don't care who you are, isn't going to say, I want your information.
Exactly.
I whatever. Okay. So nobody is trying to get any money. Nobody supposedly has gotten any money. they're going to put him on a program.
Check their Venmo.
Yeah, and then drop the charges after a year. There, like, I agree with you. Something just doesn't sound right there, because if that was anybody else and any one of us had that accident, we would all be completely out of luck. All right.
You know what the tipping point of that, which he just read, was that
What?
says the whole thing? Driving too close. So why was he driving so close to these people? Was it road rage? Was it under the influence of something? Well, there was something going on that they're leaving out of this whole main story.
Well, from what I understand, and I heard this from the podcast for Jim Cornette,
Okay.
that whenever Vince drove, you always, all the guys that would drive with him were like, saying a prayer and, oh dear God, what's going to happen? And that he was constantly pulled over for speeding and reckless driving, and maybe not an accident. And then if he got a ticket for speeding, he would get the ticket and, like, in front of the cop, throw the ticket out the window as he sped off.
Wow.
Now, according to Jim Cornette, he was actually charged, which I didn't know. So that was kind of kept out of the press or whatever. But supposedly he was actually, like, I don't know if he was, I guess he was arrested, like arrested. And supposedly this accident happened the morning that it was announced that Hulk Hogan passed away. So was he under duress? Was he under, because
Right.
There's no excuse, doesn't matter.
Right.
But coincidence, who knows? But
yeah, there's something about that that's not right to me.
Mhm.
I agree with you. It's just a little weird to me. That's all. But then again, it's a McMahon issue. A lot of things are weird with that family, and a lot of things, and they get away with a lot of stuff. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I've never heard of that kind of a release for anybody that has been in that. If the shoe was on the other foot and someone had hit Vince, guarantee you dimes to donuts, that would be a lawsuit. Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right? And there would be price to pay for that. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I wanted to also bring up the fact that I know that Seth Rollins hurt his rotator cuff at the last WWE pay-per-view when he was going against Cody Rhodes. And you could see it. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but when he did the coast to coast and he went and he hit him, when he landed real bad on his, I believe it was his left shoulder. Yeah. And you could see when he got up, he was holding his hand and doing everything with one hand, So apparently from what I read, the betrayal of the Bronze or the Breakers or the whatever they are was going to happen between now and WrestleMania anyway. Right. But because of Seth getting hurt, it just happened sooner. It was kind of last minute decided. So they also said that if his rotator cuff is torn the way they think it is, he could be out for about almost a year. And he would ultimately have to give up the title.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's so scary, because it's the second time we've seen this with a major player in the last 4 months, with Liv Morgan being the other one, where you got a major A-list talent in their organization that majority of their storylines revolve around, and when something like this happens, it's like the brakes go on, and it's like, what the fuck are we going to do? And you got to start going quick. And that was the thing. They were like, all right, well, it was 24 hours later, whatever, 36 hours later, and they had to change and pivot because their plan is to have him have surgery. He might even have had it by now already. Yeah. This way they can get him back for WrestleMania, because the main event for WrestleMania is supposed to be him and Roman.
Right. So. Well, and also, I don't know what they're going to do about him having the title, because the standard has always been, if you can't defend the title within 30 days, you lose it. Now, WWE has not honored that. They have honored it with certain people, but they didn't honor, like Roman Reigns defended the title like every what 2-3 times a year maybe,
Yeah.
which definitely is more than 30 days. That kind of stuff. So I don't know
Same
what they're
with
going to do.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Oh, please.
Same with
Yeah.
Brock. Yeah, he only
Yeah.
worked a couple times a year. So
Right. So I don't know
um,
what they're going to do now, to have him either keep the title or put it on hold or do a tournament and then maybe have him come back and win it again before WrestleMania. That might
Now,
be what they're
I
doing.
just saw earlier, about an hour before we went on here, possibility is they're going to strip him, and you might see Monday or Saturday night's main event. You might see Punk versus Braun Breaker for the title.
Wait a minute. Who versus Braun Breaker?
CM Punk.
Okay, Punk. I don't know what they're doing with him because he hasn't. I thought he was going to come in, shine like hell, grab a title, and go for it, but they haven't really done a lot with him.
Well, he got the title, but then Seth cashed in the
Yeah,
Money in the Bank. He had it for
yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But they didn't really push him that way, So I don't know. I don't know what they're planning to do with from what the fans are saying and what the general consensus is. Triple H has lost a lot of popularity. Okay, because he's not doing things the way everybody's used to. Let's put it that way. And a lot of what he's doing has no rhyme or reason to it. Now, but then you got to stop and think: is he the only one? I know he's the head of creative, but I mean, is he the only one that's responsible for any of this stuff, or is he along with somebody else, along with Tony Khan or whatever? You think it's Vince McMahon? I know you do, but Jeannie, seriously, if it was Vince McMahon, don't you think the storylines would be better?
I don't think
no,
it's
because
No?
I believe somewhat what Johnny was saying, that they're driving the prices down, the stock prices down for him to come in and buy it up at a cheaper price, and then it'll
I argue with Johnny about this all the time. I don't think you will ever see Vince McMahon back there. He swears up.
I hope not. I hope not. I don't want to see him back.
I don't think that would be a good thing for that company. I think that would destroy that company because the general public knows so much bad about Vince now. They know the true stories. They've seen the text messages and all this other stuff. I don't think the general public is going to allow or want Vince to come in and then say, oh, yeah, have my kid watch a product that this crazed guy is in charge of. I don't think it's a good PR move for any business. I don't care if it's wrestling or.
But when has Vince McMahon ever cared about his own PR?
Yeah, but it's a different day and age now. It's a different day and age.
Right.
Not
See,
Vince
the other
Land.
thing is,
Not
you
in
know
Vince
what?
Land.
But no, not. You're right. Not in Vince Land. Not in his head. Not in his
Right.
eyes. But
Right.
it's very difficult with the way everything is going in this country right now. I think it is a situation where you have to take a lot of things into consideration that you might not have at a different date or a different time. I think that Vince, like you said, Bay, he's got whether he actually committed an alleged crime or not, whether he was arrested for an alleged crime or not. Okay. I'm not saying that he did anything, although I believe he did, but I don't have any proof. But the problem is, especially today, he's got the taint. I'm going to use that word, the taint of the crimes on him. You know what I mean? In other words, he's got the smell of everything that already happened.
I feel that because Brock Lesnar was involved too. And this is my thing. I'm very shocked they brought him back. I think also too, you see the general public at times, they're not too happy about Brock being there. Whether he's
you saw the sign. Did you see the sign?
Yes.
And Brock actually stopped and looked at the sign. Not that it mattered to him. No, I get that. But the people are making it known because of the technology that's out there today, and because of the fact that so many people know so much about so many things. No, they're not going to keep their mouth shut anymore, and it does get around. And like a friend of mine told me years ago that if somebody wasn't arrested for a crime and they say they didn't commit it, then they didn't commit it. And I don't agree with that. If you were not arrested for a crime, doesn't mean you didn't do it. It just means you weren't arrested for it.
Okay, it's
they
like
don't have enough evidence or
exactly.
It's like the same thing, almost like with Vince. He was never criminally charged, or he didn't have charges. But it's like fucking OJ. Everybody knows OJ killed Nicole, but the criminal charges didn't stick. He got freed, but the civil charges that they were brought up, he was fucking found guilty. So. Right. You know,
and that's it.
That's the problem with our country, is because it's so fucked that, you know, it doesn't make fucking sense. And yes, some people would want Vince McMahon back. My question is why? Because guess what? This guy's going to drop dead at some point anyway. He's in his 80s now, God forbid. And does he really need the fucking? I mean, come on. We're going to have to move on from him eventually.
Yeah.
Is Triple H doing a good job? He has at times. Right now, something's going on. I don't know what it is. I think he's good for the company. I think he's good for the locker room. But whatever's in his head with these fucking storylines and the way things are being run from a story point of view, it's kind of stale.
Right. But that's my point. He has this conference room or whatever it is, where everybody gets together to put these storylines together. But nobody notices that they're not good, or do they, like you said, something's different. Maybe they don't care because they know that people are going to buy the tickets anyway. And they're just like, well, whatever, you know, that could be it too. I don't know. But I can see a difference. There was a time when there was a flat storyline and it moved, it went, you know what I'm saying? And then it was over. Okay. Like as an example, Cody Rhodes finishing his story. All right. That got a little tedious, but then finally it was over. He finished the story, done deal. All right. Forget that. That's what AEW does. Like AEW, like I said, the thing with Tony Storm, it's not something that's dragging on. Now, if Tony Storm loses again on Saturday to Chris Statlander, I don't believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't believe they will keep dragging that story on. Somebody else will come after Chris Statlander for the title. All right. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot that's going on in AEW. Like, it's ridiculous. Like now in WWE, what's his name? Obafemi lost to Ricky Starks. He's Ricky's Saint now, Saints, whatever. Okay. But I couldn't believe he lost. I couldn't believe that they made Obafemi lose to Ricky Starks. Now you don't really see Obafemi. I thought it was because Oba was going to move up to the main roster. But from what I read, there's too many people in the main roster. They don't want to put any more people in there. So where does this leave Oba?
There was a report that came out, I think it was earlier this week, that you're going to be seeing a lot more people released in the very near future over these next few weeks for that reason. There's no room. And it's not that these people aren't good workers or good employees or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
There's just no room. And they need to free up spots to give people the spot where they think it's going to be a better thing, because they also have the underneath, you got your NXT and your main rosters, but then they have that under in the training facilities too, that these kids are under contract.
And then they're teaming up with the TNA, and there's a lot of that going on. Now, the other thing is, Jeannie, if you remember correctly, I think you were the one who brought this up at the last podcast, where we always said that Animal said you go to the WWE to either start a career or to end one. But now, like I said, I think, Jeannie, you said it, that you go to the WWE now with the knowledge that you will be let go. You know what I'm saying? You go there, but you're not going to stay, period. Too many people have been let go. And
depending on who you are.
Exactly.
Some end up staying for 20 plus years.
Yeah. And again, like you said, it depends who you are. However, if you turncoat in any way, no matter how long you've been there, you'll be out. And there's no doubt about that, because there's nothing to keep you there. Like what happened with Andrade. I am so surprised. I really am, that the AEW took him back again. I am so surprised. But then again, I don't know for sure what his relationship was with AEW when he left. A lot of people say he went back for Charlotte. No, I don't believe that. He went back because they paid him to go back. But then all of a sudden, you read he failed wellness tests, and then he didn't get along with Charlotte, so that caused a problem. Then he didn't get along with a lot of the wrestlers, so that caused a problem. So you don't know for sure what actually happened to make Andrade really leave or to get him
Well,
fired.
did you see what happened today? It was announced today that he's now off AEW for because he had I think it was a 90-day non-compete clause in his contract with WWE.
Cease and desist was put in.
AEW didn't know that, and Andrade didn't disclose that, I guess, or whatever. And so now they fucking did this. They started saying, well, and it's squashed because they cannot wait 90 days now. And there'll probably be a stupid lawsuit or something. There'll be a payday exchange.
Now watch. Let's see if now WWE either starts a lawsuit or does something like that, or they let him go into a program, and then if you promise to follow the rules, we'll drop it in a year. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
Right.
But before we go any further, I want to say happy birthday to Chuck Langerman. Chuck is one of our
happy
listeners.
Birthday, Chuck.
Yeah,
he's
happy birthday, one of our listeners who is an incredibly wonderful person.
Great dude.
He's always researching stuff for us before we even get there. I get these messages from him saying, "Hey, are you going to talk about this at the next show? Are you going to talk about did you know this happened or that happened?" And we appreciate you very much. Also want to say a belated happy birthday to my friend David. David is a new friend that I made. He's a very nice, wonderful man. He watches every podcast because I send it to him. He has no choice, but he watches every podcast and he likes the show. So happy birthday to you as well. And I'm trying to think if there was anybody else. Oh, and today is Paul's birthday. The Wrestling Radio Tribal Chief. He is turning 70 today.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Silent partner, Paul.
Yeah, so he I texted him happy birthday. I don't know. There's a lot going on in that area that I don't really want to make public right now, but happy birthday to everybody. Also, I want to thank the people who are watching the program and they're listening to us and they're trying to give AEW a chance. All right, especially Michelle and Douglas and a few other people that are constantly sending Gianni, and of course Ed Bogus, and that are constantly giving us reviews of our show, which I love desperately. I really appreciate it, and I really want to hear more from people. We are booked right now until November, which is a really great thing, until almost the end of November. I have a few more people that I have to put in the book, but it makes me feel good that we have these options and we can book this far in advance. But I didn't mean to go off topic, but I just wanted to make sure I said those things. So anyway, getting back to wrestling, I'm hoping that people who are going to do what Jeannie and I are going to do, especially for this particular pay-per-view, and kind of get together and chip in and get a few snacks and sit and watch the AEW, because I think in a case like this, it's worth it. And yes, it is $40 a pay-per-view. And yes, I did say I would never do it. And I probably won't again for a long time, but
it's the wrestling business. Never say never.
Yeah, never. It's exactly what you're saying, Bay. It's right. It's the wrestling business. And and I don't care whether you are a wrestler, a promoter, a booker, an announcer, a reporter, a podcaster. Once wrestling is in your blood, I'm telling you, and I don't care who you are, it doesn't go away. It never goes away. All right. A lot of people say, well, so-and-so is so old, like Ric Flair. Why doesn't he get out? Because he can't. Okay. I agree that he shouldn't be in wrestling anymore, but he can't. It's in his blood. It's just like me. I'm 68 years old with a podcast. Okay. Why? Because it's in my blood. I was raised with it. It's all I knew for most of my life as far as any kind of entertainment and enjoyment. Bay, how long have you been involved in wrestling?
Oh, God. I started training September of 90 with Joel and them. So 35 years I've been in the business. And honestly, when I retired as a promoter in 2002, when I went out of business, I like walked away. And then a few years later, I did a couple shots, and like 2008, again, I walked away. But pretty much from 2002 up until a few years ago, I stopped watching because of that exact reason. When you start watching, when you've been somebody who's been in this business and involved with this business,
Right.
you do get such a love for it and obsession, whatever you want to call it. But I had to like shut the door and walk away because it really did a number on me. And I had to like try to, at that point, like take care of my family and things like that. But when I opened the door back up, and it happened by accident a few years ago, and then all these things started opening up for me, it was kind of just like, I kind of tried to not rely on the Chubby Dudley and the ECW thing and all that and the wrestling business, but it just kind of opened so much up that it was kind of like, it's kind of like people, like you hear like these certain actors, they don't want to like open up to a role that they did in the past. They want to move on. That's kind of like what I wanted to do. But now that I like embraced it, I'm kind of like, what the fuck? Like, it was a part of my life that I love so much. And I still, I have fallen back in love with the business, from afar now, which is much better for me. But it's like you guys said, it's once you're in, you're in. It's like the mafia. You're not getting the fuck out.
No.
There's only one way out when you die. That's how you're getting out. So
exactly.
It's crazy. And
Okay, I wanted to ask you, I saw it because, I subscribe to your YouTube channel. But you put on a video regarding the Dudleys versus,
I was hoping you brought this up. I was going to say, I can drop a little bombshell. Go ahead.
And your reaction to it and your thoughts on it and things like that. Did you want to, and you don't have to, if you want to
no, totally,
channel, because that was on Impact TNA, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it was the Dudleys' retirement. I guess they retired. Thoughts, feelings?
You're gonna make me cry.
I know. I'm sorry. I saw you cry in your video. I'm sorry.
The crazy thing is, and I've been sitting on this fucking secret for almost a month now. About a month ago, Sign Guy Dudley reached out to me. He said, "Yo, bro, do you have Dances with Dudley's number and Dudley?" He goes, "I know you've been in touch with them." I said, "Yeah." And so I gave him the numbers, and then he said, "Hey, when's the last time you talked to Dudley? The number's not working." I said, a year ago." He's like, "All right." So he said, "Stay tuned. I'm going to be shooting you and Dances a text in the next few days." I said, "Okay." So I'm like, "All right, so what's going on? Is there," I figured it was going to be for like a reunion of the Dudleys at a convention or something. I had no idea it was for fucking TNA. So we get the text message, "Hey, just want to know, are you guys available for October 12th in Boston? Dudleys are doing match with the Hardys, and Bubba's got an idea, and he wants to get all of us involved to be involved in the match." So I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm there. Just let me know." And Dances was like, "Yep, I'm available." So that was the last we heard. So going into like the week leading up to it, I was just like, we're a week out. I don't think we're going to hear anything. And I guess it was a week to 10 days before the match. They did an in-ring promo, and they announced it was a tables match. And I was like, "Oh, fuck." I said to Coco, I said, "If I'm in, I'm definitely going through a table." I'm like, I already know I'm going through a fucking table. But they didn't contact me again. And that night of the match, my phone was blowing up. Everybody was between Facebook and text. They were texting me, "Are you watching? Did you see?" And I didn't. So the next night, I finally Monday night till late. I have just in the middle of so much stuff. I didn't like sit down and watch it until like 10, 11 o'clock Monday night. And
take your time, honey.
it's, I'm so thankful for Bubba and Devon, because if it wasn't for what those two guys have done in their careers and this business, nobody gave a fuck about me. I was such a small, integral part of the whole Dudley thing and all. I just happened to look like a fucking Dudley and was blessed with the opportunity of knowing people like Steve Richards, et cetera, to say, hey, come back in for this gimmick. 30 years later, people still fucking reach out and care about me now because of what Bubba, Devon, and Spike have done in this business. I'm eternally fucking grateful and thankful for the blessing of having that 15 seconds of fame in 95 and 96 with this whole ECW thing that will bless me for the rest of my life. And when I see things like that, I get emotional because it means a lot.
Sure, absolutely.
Well,
I love those fucking guys. I haven't talked to Bubba in 20 years, but I do love them. We are truly brothers. We are.
Is that something we can watch, or how do we watch it?
You know what? The match is on YouTube. The final match is on YouTube. And look, these guys, Bub and Devon, they're about my age. They're early mid-50s. And I didn't even know this. I just saw a thing this morning that Devon had spinal surgery a few years ago. And they showed when Jeff Hardy put him through the tables, Jeff protected him. And basically, he took the blunt on the tables and not going through Devon to protect him. And when I saw Devon a year ago, we did an autograph signing here in Nashville together. And he was telling me, he's like, look, Bubba keeps trying to push me for one match. Let's just do one final match. He's like, but I can't do it. He said, I don't want to do it. I'm at the point now where, it's I can't do it now. So, I mean, you see it when you watch the match, but it's a very emotional match.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, as much as I would have loved to have seen you as Chubby Dudley out there with your brothers, I would have. I'd still be watching it on repeat.
You know what? After
the medical emergency that you had, a few months ago, I don't know if it would have been a good idea for you to
the only
there.
One,
or at least to go through a table anyway. I mean,
yeah.
The only one I told besides Coco that knew was Johnny. And the first thing Johnny said to me was, please talk to your doctor first.
Yeah.
But also after watching it the other night, I didn't need to be there. Dancers didn't need to be there. Sign guy didn't need to be there. Because it was about Bubba and Devon and Spike. Spike deserved to be there and needed to be there. It was a perfect ending for the story. The 10,000 people in the crowd, they would have been like, who the fuck are these guys? Because a lot of people, I get it a lot. Like, people don't know. They weren't in the know of the ECW thing in the 90s. And so, yeah, I mean, it was, we weren't needed there. It was, and I keep meaning to text Sign Guy, and I'm going to do that now when we get off air. But, I kept meaning to text him and thank him, and please pass on to Bubba. Thank you for just even thinking or considering the idea. I was very shocked and overwhelmed. Very shocked and overwhelmed.
Well, I think that's a very well-deserved invitation,
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
You deserved it because you busted your butt and did a lot, and you carried that name with honor, Bay, and I couldn't imagine you not being invited. You did a lot for wrestling. You did a lot for that name. So yeah, I totally could see you being there.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But if anybody wants to watch it, is there a name that it goes with it, or like last match?
They could just they just type in Dudley's versus the Hardys on YouTube and it's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah, it was on TNA.
You know what? It was on it was on the TNA app, which I subscribed to the app, but I couldn't watch it. They wanted to charge me $30 or $40 to watch it. I was like, "Fuck
Really?
that!" Yeah,
No.
and I was like, "All right." I knew there was the clips of it, but then the full match is on there too on YouTube. So,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll watch it when I get off. But you know, I just again wanted to say congratulations. You're a great guy, and
thank you.
you know, it's always a pleasure and an honor having you on our podcast all the
I love
time.
you guys. Thank you.
And no, we love you, and I want to thank you for all that you do and that you have done for the industry, and that you're always available and you're always kind and you're always willing to help and do whatever you can in any given situation. And you don't find that much of that anymore today. So I just wanted to say that to you as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to see what you think about, well, now you don't really watch AEW, but I want to know, knowing Jon Moxley, or as now Dean Ambrose, okay, in my opinion, was nothing compared to Jon Moxley. Have you ever seen Jon Moxley wrestle?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Again, do yourself a favor, because I think the most recent match with Jon Moxley and Darby Allin is on YouTube. Okay. Where they did, it's ridiculous. Okay. The one time Jon Moxley ripped the whole bottom of, that was with the fork, the whole bottom of Darby Allin's ear. He had bandages on his ears for like weeks. And then there was, like I said, the screwdriver in the head, and you got to watch it. I think that one match alone, Bay, will give you an idea of what Jeannie and I are talking about. Okay.
The one match, or I don't know if it was the last pay-per-view, maybe, where WWE and AEW went head-to-head, well, on the same day, where I don't know if it wasn't an I Quit match, but it was like a not a coffin match, or body bag match.
It might have been.
Or whatever it was. And Darby Allin lost, and they put him in like this body bag or whatever.
Yeah.
And in a pickup truck, like, and drug him through, like, you see him like going out or whatever. And then, well, that was like one show. But then pay-per-view, Darby Allin like comes to, puts see Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley in the body bag, and then set the body bag on fire.
Yeah, good stuff.
Like,
really good stuff.
Good stuff. Look at,
you know,
I mean, set the body bag on fire. You've
what
done
they're
it all,
going to do, what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, Saturday is in an I Quit match. Like, I have no idea what it's going to be, but it's going to be brutal, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's good stuff. Yeah. And even what's the name is there? Bobby Lashley and MVP, and come on, Jeannie, that name is leaving me. The Hurt Business.
Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin. Well, now they're called, in AEW, they're called the Hurt Business. And it's all the same gimmick, the same pretense and all that. But the good thing about it is it's not like it was in WWE, where Bobby Lashley just walks around like this all the time and does nothing but give you the hurt lock. You know, he doesn't even really do that. He wrestles. And I think that's so important that people know that and they see that. Everybody in AEW wrestles. They just
I never liked Bobby Lashley, just because I was like, all right, he's just a musclehead, and
exactly,
he can't wrestle and whatever. I'm not impressed. But yeah, in AEW, oh my God, the boy can work.
Yeah,
the boy can work.
Yeah.
Now there are, you know, and I've said this to Carm, there's a lot of things, not a lot, but there are a few things that I don't like. Like, I don't like their champion. I can't even remember his name. He just sucks. What's his name?
Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah. I think he's horrible. He's horrible on the mic. I haven't been impressed with him at all. He's going up against Samoa Joe, who I absolutely love and adore. But you know, and then they have this one faction that's like 9 guys in there.
That's
like
the Don Callis family, yeah.
Yeah, it's just too much. I don't, you know, I'm not really getting it. And then, you know, there's some guys that are just, you know, I don't get.
Yeah. Understand, we're not saying that the AEW is perfect and by any stretch. There's a lot that needs to be considered. There's a lot that they can fix. Absolutely. Because when we did the recap last time, there were things that Jeannie and I and Johnny both agreed that it wasn't that terrific. It wasn't, you know, what they're capable of. But I do believe, and we talked about this too, because a lot of people are like so dedicated to the WWE, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. To the point where, like, if you tell them that the WWE's ratings are starting to drop, or you tell them that the WWE was in an arena that really wasn't 100% filled, you know, they come back and snap back at you like, oh, well, that picture was because the building wasn't filled yet. No, it was filled, okay? And it wasn't filled, period. Or
the only time you see they're truly selling out anymore, WWE, is when they're overseas.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's another thing. I believe, and if I'm mistaken, I'm mistaken, but I believe that the WWE selling pay-per-views like WrestleMania to other countries like Saudi Arabia is a bad thing, because I think by doing that, they're taking stuff away from America. And I don't believe that should happen. Okay. But that's what they're going to do. They want to do. Basically, it's actually being shown now that they're doing stuff to make themselves number one. The people
that's the thing, man. I said this maybe a year ago, or maybe even a little longer. I do truly feel that the WWE is without a doubt the biggest entertainment company out there today. You know, all bigger than UFC. I think it's the biggest sports. I think it's bigger than the NFL. I truly do. I think, you know, you hold WrestleMania up against the Super Bowl. Look, the Super Bowl is one game, one night. They sell out a stadium. Yes, they have the biggest fucking TV numbers, but WWE's WrestleMania is 2 nights, and they're doing it for 2 nights in a row. I feel like there's more news and hype around WWE than any other entertainment company out there. So I truly feel they are the biggest fucking entertainment thing. And you see all these sports, the top sports stars are all WWE fans.
Right. But see, my point in this is you're absolutely right. I'm not taking anything away from what you said. But again, years ago, WWE was loved. It was admired. It was watched, had a lot of fans, and a lot of it was more directed toward the fan base. Now, what I was going to say is it seems like whatever money's being made, whatever entertainment's being done or whatever, it's all basically for the owners or the companies that preside over it, as opposed to the fans. They know the fans are going to buy anyway. Okay. They know the fans are going to be there anyway. They just recently put up a schedule not too long ago of how their prices are going to increase. Mm-hmm. And the people are still going to buy it. And that's okay. They're still going to buy. But like I was saying, even if you have proof, you come up with proof that the WWE is starting to slack a little bit. You know, people, again, and I call them keyboard warriors, people slap back and they're like, yeah, well, the AEW sucks. And that's their rebuttal, you know, not, well, wait a minute, let's talk about the WWE. Is it really losing numbers? No, AEW sucks. As soon as they know that you like something and they don't, rather than being human and kind and discussing it like you would expect adults to do,
we're talking about wrestling fans.
But you know what, Jeannie? It's not even just wrestling. It's life in general, especially on the internet. Like, as an example, if I don't like the shirt you're wearing, okay. Well, okay, instead of saying, well, it's an old shirt or whatever, but right away, well, F you, I don't like your face, and it's always got to go that route. But I feel bad about that. Our country has gotten to the point where everybody's just out to hurt everybody in one way or another. You know, you want to like WWE? Absolutely. I never said I don't like WWE. I like WWE. I was born and raised around these people. WWF, WWF, WWE. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not going to turn my back on them. Not at all. What I'm saying is, you don't have to delete the WWE. All I'm saying is give AEW a chance. That's all. Watch it a few times with an open mind. Okay. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and that's okay. Everybody's allowed to not like something, and everybody's allowed to like it. Whether they agree with you or not is not the point. You can't bash somebody to death just because they don't agree with what you're saying. Everybody's allowed their own opinions about things. And I think that everybody needs to understand that a little bit more. Maybe be a little bit kinder. Maybe be a little bit more adult. You know, talk to everybody. And even wrestling. Yeah, wrestling people are a whole different breed. You're right. Okay. But again, in the same token, all right, rather than just be rating somebody for having a different opinion, just try to talk it out once in a while, because I see that everywhere, not just in wrestling, but everywhere. It's like, well, you know, I don't like spinach, but you do. Well, you suck. You know, you don't like spinach. God, spinach is horrible. How could you eat that crap? Only a moron like you would eat that crap. See, why does it got to go there? I
Well,
like spinach. You don't. That's okay.
It's like, you know, and I'm not going to go down this road, and I don't ever even talk about this stuff ever. I don't even care about it, but you see it all the time. Politics. It's the same thing with politics.
Yes.
People go insane on both sides about politics. Who cares? Why are we fighting over stuff that we out of our control?
Right. Right. It's out of our control, number one. Number two, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, no matter who's riding what side of the board. And that goes for wrestling. It goes for politics. It goes for religion. It goes for school. It goes for sports in general. It goes for everything. I just wish to God, honestly, that people would just try to have a little more respect for each other. And, you know, like, stop calling each other names all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just now, maybe, Shelby, what is your plug your channel where you do all your reviews and your,
you can Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Shelby Dudley Official.
Now, what is that? Something new, or is that new?
No.
Oh, okay. Chubby Dudley.
Well, he used to have like all 3 or 4, and now it's just condensed.
Yeah, Chubby Dudley Official. You can find me Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Okay, great. Well, it's getting to be around that time. I know you have to get ready to go to work, and we're going to get ready to do whatever. Jeannie and I have to eat dinner. So it's been a great honor to have you on today. It's been great. We love you too. And please don't make yourself a stranger, okay? No. Mm-hmm. And everybody check out Bae's website, check out his channel, and look for those matches. Look for the Dudleys against the Hardy Boys. Look for the Moxley and Darby Allin match. Just take a couple minutes. Just give it a shot. Okay. We will be here this week. We will be here on Monday for the recap, because this weekend is a little hectic for everybody. Also, I want to apologize. We weren't able scheduling conflicts. We weren't able to have Patricia Summerland, and we will reschedule her to be on Wednesday. Sunny. Yeah, we will have her back on. She has a lot to tell.
If you get a chance, Bae, you gotta listen. I don't know if you heard the first podcast. Well, you can't now, but the second one with Susan Green. Oh my God.
We'll have her back and make her repeat the first one. Yeah. A couple of our things.
Some Moolah stories.
Oh,
put it that way.
But I'm going to ask her to come back and repeat the Moolah story. She is unbelievable.
She's 72 years old, Bae. She's still training male wrestlers.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And female wrestlers. But she's 72. So
She
there's
has her own ring. She has her own ring, her own everything. The next time we have her on, if you'd like, we'll have you on too, and you can
God
ask her
bless her.
questions. She is amazing. This woman. She hasn't lost a beat in all these years. She really hasn't.
Wow.
She is amazing. She's wonderful. As a matter of fact, I made her listen to the podcast where we did the recaps because Johnny was speaking so kindly of her, and she thought that was wonderful. But I can't tell you, like she said to me, "Thank you guys for pushing me." There's no pushing. She's
Yeah.
pushing herself. She's so good, and all the stuff that she did in her life. And I got to tell you, never once did she go against her own convictions. Never once did she let anybody screw her over. Never once did she put herself in any compromising situations because she could have, like other people did. This
Of course.
woman is a 100% straight shooter right from the hip, and I have nothing but respect for her. But anyway,
And
I would love for
Faye,
you to see her.
really quick, Bay, you've heard of WOW, Women of
Yeah.
Wrestling?
Mhm.
So yeah, so they've reached out to her, and there's a tag team. She called them the twins, but I don't think they're twins.
I don't think that's it. Yeah.
But for her to like train them.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's gonna
down
go to
in Florida,
Miami.
Go to
Yep,
Miami,
yep.
and work with them to get them. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
She's amazing. She's
Yeah,
amazing.
and
awesome.
she's gonna get us a couple WOW ladies to come on the podcast as well.
Nice.
So that's
Nice.
an idea. After she's done training them, we should get maybe 4 or 5 of them and her to come back on. I think that would be a good show.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. But anyway, Bay, God bless you.
Yes.
You
Keep in
guys
touch.
too.
And by the way, you're going to help me decide how to work this thing out so that we can do hopefully Monday night live. I'd
Okay.
like to try live, okay? But thank you, Bay. I love
Love you guys.
Okay,
Mwah.
Jeannie, I love you too.
Tell Coco hi.
I
Yes,
will.
tell Coco hi for both of us, and have a great night at work. I know you
Thank
love
you.
your job, and God bless you. I hope everything keeps going well.
Thank
Okay,
you.
night, everybody. See
Good night,
you on
everybody.
Monday. Okay, bye.
Bye.